Dad threw his staff at the fiery man's feet, and it changed into an enormous serpent, 10 feet long and as big around as I was, with coppery scales and glowing red eyes. It lunged at the fiery man, who effortlessly grabbed the serpent by its neck. The man's hand burst into white-hot flames, and the snake burned to ashes. "An old trick, Julius," the fiery man chided. My dad glanced at us, silently urging us again to run. Part of me refused to believe any of this was real. Maybe I was unconscious, having a nightmare. Next to me, Sadie picked up a chunk of stone. "How many?" my dad asked quite quickly, trying to keep the fiery man's attention. "How many did I release?" "Why, all 5, the fiery man said, as if explaining something to a child. "You should know we're a package deal, Julius. Soon I'll release even more, and they'll be very grateful. I shall be named king again." "The demon days," my father said. "They'll stop you before it's too late." The fiery man laughed. "You think the house can stop me? Those old fools can't even stop arguing among themselves. Now let the story be told anew, and this time you shall never rise." The fiery man waved his hand. The blue circle at Dad's feet went dark. Dad grabbed for his toolbox, but it skidded across the floor. "Goodbye, Osiris," the fiery man said. Another flick of his hand. He conjured a glowing coffin around our dad. At first it was transparent, but as our father struggled and pounded on its sides, the coffin became more and more solid. A golden Egyptian sarcophagus inlaid with jewels. My dad caught my eyes one last time and mouthed the word "run" before the coffin sank into the floor as if the ground had turned to water. "Dad!" I screamed. Sadie threw the stone, but it sailed harmlessly through the fiery man's head. He turned, and for one terrible moment his face appeared in the flames. What I saw made no sense. It was as if someone had been superimposed 2 different faces on top of each other. One was almost human, with pale skin, cruel angular features, and glowing red eyes. The other like an animal with dark fur and sharp fangs. Worse than a dog or a wolf or a lion. Some animal I'd never seen before. Those red eyes stared at me, and I knew I was going to die. Behind me, heavy footsteps echoed on the marble floor of the great court. Voices were barking orders. The security guards? Maybe the police? But they'd never get here in time. The fiery man lunged at us. A few inches from my face, something shoved him backwards. The air sparked with electricity. The amulet around my neck grew uncomfortably hot. The fiery man hissed, regarding me more carefully. "So, it's you." The building shook again. At the opposite end of the room, part of the wall exploded in a brilliant flash of light. 2 people stepped through the gap. The man and the girl we'd seen at the needle, their robes swirling around them. Both of them held staves. The fiery man snarled. He looked at me one last time and said, "Soon, boy." Then the entire room erupted in flames. A blast of heat sucked all the air out of my lungs, and I crumpled to the floor. The last thing I remember, the man with the forked beard and the girl in the blue were standing over me. I heard the security guards running and shouting, getting closer. The girl crouched over me and drew a long curved knife from her belt. "We must act quickly," she told the man. "Not yet," he said with some reluctance. His thick accent sounded French. "We must be sure before we destroy them." I closed my eyes and drifted into unconsciousness.